If you want to know how to make journaling like Marcus Aurelius a daily habit, or simply integrate a Stoic journaling practice into your life consistently, then you've come to the right place. Because in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 major tips to achieve the greatest level of success with making this habit automatic. Something that will eventually become effortless to do without the need for willpower. So I hope that excites you. Welcome to Next Level Warrior. This is your self-development coach John here, and this channel is all about providing you with the knowledge and tools to help you build your warrior within to become your next level self. Something that using a journal is always at the top of my list for, and believe me, I know how hard it is to start and maintain a daily journaling habit, regardless of the style. I personally avoided it for the majority of my life, only reaching for it in the craziest of times, until eventually I discovered and implemented the necessary design and plan to form it as an automatic habit, which is exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Oh, and for those of you that struggle with staying motivated, I've got a bonus tip at the end for you using a special method that I share with my coaching clients to help bring up your motivation when it eventually drops. So make sure to watch this till the end. Create an anchor point that initiates the action. With this, you're sequencing the new behavior of journaling following something you already automatically do. Let's say it's brushing your teeth in the morning. This automatic habit is your anchor that you're attaching the new habit of journaling to. So it would go something like, after I put away my toothbrush, I journal for 3 minutes. After I feed my cat, after I make my bed in the morning, you get the point. Likewise, choose an automatic behavior for an evening journaling habit. My personal anchor for the evening is setting my phone on airplane mode, as I find it perfect for clearing distractions in the evening to make journaling even easier. But I want you to note something to avoid confusion. The steps in this guide are geared towards creating a journaling habit in the morning, as I strongly believe that you make or break your day in the first hour of the morning. And this is also where Marcus Aurelius had the greatest focus when it came to journaling. But there will be some design tips within here for evening journaling as well. It's really important that you avoid inputs in the morning. Inputs are basically taking in information instead of outputting. This would be television, checking email, social media, basically anything with internet or involving your phone being connected. I personally keep my phone on airplane mode for the first few hours of the day unless it needs to be on. But the purpose here is pretty specific. In the morning, your mind is running on a slower, calmer brainwave frequency called an alpha wave state. This state allows for the greatest levels of focus and creativity, which immediately gets thrown into the higher frequency beta wave state when you switch your mind on using digital inputs. In the beta state, we have much less ability to focus. It's harder to relax, we're more anxious, distracted, and generally seeking even more inputs. On the other hand, journaling, meditating, and exercising are all great outputs that you can do instead, which will begin to change your ability to focus, along with anxiety management to have that unplugged time in the morning. The whole point being that it will make it much easier to journal by avoiding inputs, which completely ties into tip number 3. Do it first thing in the morning. I've basically hinted at this already with what I mentioned before, and the reason is simple. When you choose to place this habit within your morning routine, it's gonna get done. If you wait till another part of the day, it's always gonna be harder, especially if you're trying to make this a daily habit. The further that your day goes on, the busier you get, and the easier that it becomes to put this off. So definitely make sure that you're doing this session within the first hour of your morning. Through my life experience with habit development, trials, successes, failures, and coaching, I can tell you that before you get that pen to paper, designing your environment is absolutely vital to make this habit stick. The reason for this is because your initial motivation after this video will be high, making it easier to start, but since motivation will predictably drop off, we move towards relying on something that will basically guarantee failure. Using willpower. We can't rely on willpower, which is why you're here on this video. We're creating an intelligent plan to remove as much friction and decision fatigue as possible. And while some tips I've just mentioned are already environment design tips, here are a few more that will help. Always have a clear writing space. Make sure that your pen and journal are easily accessible so that you don't have to create additional decision fatigue to find them. And this is best set up in the night before so it's ready for you in the morning. You can also even pre-write your prompts into the journal if that makes it smoother for you to get started in the morning. You can find these prompts in one of my How to Journal Like a Stoic videos that I'll link in the description. Along with this, make sure digital distractions aren't present. Whether this is morning or evening journaling, make sure that your phone is on airplane mode or tucked away in another room. For the evening routine in particular, because we've gone through a whole day, our willpower is usually fried. We've made lots of decisions throughout the day, so it can be a lot harder to form this as a habit. This is where anchoring journaling to another automatic behavior will help you out, as I mentioned back in tip number 1. And an extra environment design tip for evening journaling is to set an automatic power timer to shut off your television and Wi-Fi before bed. And this is something you only have to set up once, which eliminates a bunch of distractions without needing to make daily decisions of shutting down screens and internet in order to journal. This is because design always beats willpower. Now, I'm not saying that willpower doesn't work. The point is that we have a limited daily amount of it, so we can never really rely on it. Many times our days take a lot out of us, which is why in the evening it's so easy to consume junk food and junk media. But if you remove the need to use willpower through design by making it easier to do the things you want to do and vice versa, your intention will always win. So make sure to give this some thought. Figure out what will best support you, and definitely let us know in the comments what works for you. This can be the easiest one to overlook, especially with the initial motivation wave that you're gonna have when you start. But trust me on this. Set a lower limit for yourself and work your way up from there. Start with 1 or 2 bullet points or a single sentence for each of the typical 3 prompts. This could take you 2 minutes or less, maybe 5 minutes for some of you, but try not to go over that. And I'm very serious here, because regardless if you're a beginner or have lots of journaling experience, if you've never been able to maintain consistency with a daily journaling habit, then it's likely that your brain started feeling like it was more of a chore to write out a full page or some other design element that might have been missing that created decision fatigue. So keep this simple and keep it short at the beginning, then build it up over time. And if this video is helping you out, then make sure to hit the like button to let me know, or drop me a high five in the comments. Now, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned a bonus tip, and this is something that you can use in so many parts of your life to immediately reframe your mindset when you're feeling bad about your progress in something. Every Sunday night, take a few minutes to reflect on how your journaling went for the week. How many days did you do it? How many sessions did you get in? Is it getting easier? Is it still challenging? What environment design changes can you make? What benefits are you experiencing? Taking the time to reflect and measure your tangible results is going to help you in a ton of ways. But in particular, at some point, you're not going to feel good about your progress. We all go through this regardless if it's journaling, our physique, or other improvements that we're trying to make in life. And it's almost always because we're measuring against a false expectation, comparing today's results against where we think we should be, or even comparing ourselves to someone else that's been doing it for years. This will only bring you down, but more importantly, it's based on the non-existent. We aren't that other person, and we aren't yet at the progress that we'll have achieved in 6 months or a year from now. Instead, you always want to measure your former self towards your present results. This is real. This is tangible. This will lift and boost your confidence. Let's use an example and say that you've been journaling for a month, but you're feeling sad that you missed 15 out of the 30 days. The reality is that you've achieved 15 days of journaling. This is a major win. This is something to feel good about. This is real and measurable. This shows your progress. Your former self wasn't journaling, and now you are. This is your opportunity to acknowledge this, to reflect on it, to feel good about it, and focus on how you'll improve the following week or the following month. And believe me, that eventually when you do this reflection looking back on 6 months or a year, it's pretty insane to see the compound effect it's had in your life. Now, for anyone that needs a refresher on the Stoic journaling prompts, or you haven't yet seen the video, then make sure to check it out here. This will give you a solid breakdown to help guide your journaling sessions for the morning. And if you really got something great out of this video, it would mean a lot to me if you could share it with friends, Facebook groups, or in forums that could actually benefit from this information. It's a win-win for the two of us. So until the next one, warriors, never stop growing.